Welcome to all the classic car enthusiasts. Another video, another day. I will do a bit of mini in this one because I'm sure you guys are getting a bit peed off with just looking at the Jag. Because I've run out of steel basically. Well, I've run out of box section. I need some 2.5 by 2.5 centimetre box to finish off the triangulation on the other side, on the off side. And I won't get that now till Monday. It's Saturday today, Saturday morning. And I've just been down the shops. It was a bank holiday yesterday. What is it about bank holidays? It's like people go shopping crazy like there's going to be a zombie apocalypse, you know. It's just people diving at bread and whatever, and the place was just mobbed. Normally, being retired, I go whenever I feel like it. I normally go during the week and avoid motorways Mondays and Fridays, and avoid shops Mondays and Fridays. I go during the week when nobody's around, which is great. But yeah, people go crazy, don't they? You know, it's a bank holiday, and you think that everything's going to shut down for months. The way people hoard stuff. There you go. Anyway, going away from that, a little thing I've just come up with, and unfortunately, this has come out of Paul P's video. He's done a beautiful job on that Mini. Him and his mate Al, and his other friend who has the orange Mini. He's done a lovely job, and for something as silly as water coming into the airlines, you know, it's ruined something that was almost perfect, you know, and I really feel for you, Paul. But learning from your mistake, and I'm glad, you know, like you say, you've got to show the bad stuff, the bad stuff and the good stuff, or the unlucky stuff or lucky stuff, whatever. Sometimes you get lucky with these things, sometimes you don't, you know. They normally come in threes, but you know, you can see the water droplet. So after that's, I've just got a, that must be a WhatsApp. After seeing him, after seeing the problems he's had with the water drips, we're very lucky that we're only priming the vehicles, we're priming our shells in our own place, and then they rub back down again. And we're fortunate enough to have a professional spray booth, which is heated. It's got water traps, it's got ventilation so that there's no overspray. It's got all these things that we need, a heater and so on and so forth, which will make things so much easier. But we are priming them here ourselves. And so I've come up with a little idea, and this has come directly. It's something I had thought about before, but I just never got around to it because I thought, oh, primer's primer, you know. Top colour, yeah, different story. And what it is I went down to the local store, and this is why I was talking about how people go crazy with shopping, and I bought myself a little belt, and basically I think this was a couple of euro, and I think this pocket, side pocket thing was about €3. It's actually for a hammer, putting a hammer in for a builder. But what I did is I bought a water trap and regulator. Now if you're doing any painting, you want the water trap to be as close to the gun as possible, and you want the regulator to be as close to the gun as possible, because if you have the compressor running at a fair speed, then the gun has to do the work of reducing the pressure or the volume and so on. So the nearest to the gun you can get it, the better. So this is a water trap come regulator. Well, it is a regulator, and obviously what you get with that is a gauge so you can regulate it yourself, and you've got an in and out, very basic. But the nice thing about this is it comes normally with a wall mounting like that, which normally goes onto the wall or wherever you've got on your compressor. But in this particular case, it fits perfectly with this belt, so I can actually put it on. What I'll do is I'll weld this bottom piece to the belt, because I only want it for one reason, and I'll make it perfect. You know, I don't go around with hammers or any other tools like that. And then I'll weld it onto there, and it'll be perfect. You can walk around with it, put a small airline onto the gun, and he's got some, and he's dragging the other hose behind him, which would be good news. So, and it's just a little clip fit on. So yeah, there's very little to it, but it'll do the job. So yeah, so that's the way we're going to go. Anyway, so that's the next idea. Don't forget. For all you mini guys particularly, especially this for the IMM, which is in Bristol, and I'll definitely be going to it, and I think there's a bunch of guys from Austria going, I think at least 6 or 7. We're having a meeting. If you're watching in and you're in Austria, you have a mini, or even if you don't have a mini, we're having a meeting on the 9th of November, about how we're going to get there, because we may use some transport because some people can't take so long off and so on. But if you go to IMM, give us a thumbs up and let me know, and I'll be there. So enjoy the video, and catch you after the weekend maybe. Bye for now, take care. These shells look pretty nice. That roof's been done looks. And this one's got a... Oh. Yeah. Okay, so... Yeah, a lot of parts, eh? A lot of parts. All the glasses here as well, eh? The front side frame. That's fine, I don't need to move anything. And this one needs a new front in it. But you can see it's actually that front there. And put back in. Christ, there's bumpers and everything. It's a lot of stuff, eh? What's this, MG? Off your,
no, an old Caravelle.
Oh, God. I thought maybe it was off your Triumph or something. Your Triumph Spitfire, maybe. A lot of stuff. Software looks new. That's the top, mate. Okay, so going onto my Mini, you can see we've started doing some work already. We've taken the rear lights out and started on this rear valance, getting all the runs and imperfections and things out of it. Also, you might look up there and you can see where the lip is. So this is a completely brand new top. The boot, the centerpiece, there's three pieces there. You've got the valance, the boot floor, and then this top piece. This is the new one I put in. Excuse me a second. This is the new one I put in here. Here is where I actually put it in. Here and here. In fact, you can just tiny see a little where the weld was. So I've got to redo this valance because it wasn't correct. The other problem is because of the way these are knit together, because they're welded like this, they can create a bit of corrosion in them. And what I've realised to do now is actually seam weld them completely when you first put them on, because what happens is the corrosion gets in between. That's how they were done from the factory. This is one of the reasons that they're bad. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to cut this back quite a bit to take the rust out, and then we're going to re-weld it all the way along. I've done it with a black Mini and it's much better because you stop it straight away and it tracks. But when the water can sit on here, it doesn't get corroded from being dry. It's when the water's sitting in here, and all it can do is go under. So we'll cut all this out. Fortunately, it's just on the edge, and then we'll re-weld it and get this valance done. Yeah, and so that's something I have to work on this week. This won't go for its test now till probably till after the new year. I've got so many other jobs on that I need to do anyway. So, okay, little question for the guys. As you know, I want to basically use that side of my garage there for the cars that are finished. So it's more like not a museum, but a place to keep all the nice cars and keep them clean and put covers over them and so on. Like you can see the Jag is there with the Union Jack on it and so on. And so what we're actually going to do is turn all these benches around. We're going to cut them down and actually put them at the right height for in here. So what I want to do is do all the mechanical work on this ramp, which is obviously an ideal situation. But I want to be able to store a second car. So a bit of help from you guys, a bit of thinking out of the box here. I need to do something with these ramps. They're extremely heavy. This is a Strongman, what is it? It's Findhorn. Yeah, 3.5 ton. Now these are extremely heavy, these ramps. What I want to do is I want to either get them to a point where I can get another car under it, and as you can see you can't do that because they're down too far, even though that's still got quite a bit of travel on it. So I need to either chop them in half so that they fold up and then fold over, or something else. I need to come up with a plan. So if you guys have got any ideas about what I can do to make that, they are extremely heavy. So you can see I was actually going to put wheels on them originally, but what I can do is I can drop it down, but you can only get a mini in the back. It would be better if I could get something right underneath, something larger. And as I say, it goes up another 20-30 centimeters or so. So if you've got any ideas how I could do it, either chop them up or come up with some kind of idea that would make it still usable, but so I could actually flip them up. So if you imagine, instead of being like this, they were up here to a point. I was thinking maybe chopping them in half and having them folded and pinning them up, I don't know. So if you've got any ideas, guys, I'd really appreciate it, because I would like to get at least 2. I mean, I could probably get 3 minis in here. I could get two minis on the bottom and 1 on top. But obviously with them ramps being the way they are, it's very difficult. So a little bit more on the XK. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sandblast this fan. I've got the radiators all been recored and redone. Obviously they sit about that kind of angle, like that, for the fan. And then there's brackets basically come down onto here to fit it all. So what I'm going to do for now, so I can put the belt on, I need a pulley for either the dynamo or the alternator. So I'm picking up the alternators in England, and so what I'll do is I think I'll just put the dynamo on now, so it's got a pulley so I can tension it and at least it turns the fan. But I can't really run this engine until after I've put the Evans coolant in it. So but that's the next job. And then I'm going to put up the 2 reservoirs on this side for the brake and the clutch. And then I'll fix up all this wiring so that I can actually use this. This is the original gauges which are coming to England with me to be all recalibrated. So I can actually just use the key and press the starter, whichever the starter is. I think it's that one. That's a cigar lighter. These are washers, I believe. Anyway, we'll find out which is which. But I would like to get to a point where I can turn the ignition and just press the button like I could with the E-Type. And that's it. That's it for this little segment. Just to do an outro. I don't normally do the outros. I normally do them in the workshop. So I'm coming to the UK. I would think around about the, I don't know, 19th, 20th, maybe the 20th. And we're going to have a meet-up in a place called Ashton-under-Lyne. It's about 10 kilometres from Manchester, so about 7.5 miles from Manchester. I'd love to see anybody that would like to come over. I'm staying at the Broad Oak Hotel, which is in Ashton-under-Lyne. Yeah, if you'd like to come along, we're going to have a meal together. There's going to be a bunch of guys from YouTube. Yeah, we could have a meet up, have something to eat, and a few drinks, and have a bit of a chat. So, as I say, it's Friday the 23rd of November. I've made it a Friday because then people don't have to take time off work. So this is my dog and needs his foot scratched. You got your sap. Yeah, so Friday the 23rd, I would think, I don't know, after 7ish or something like that. But if you'd like to come along, you're more than welcome. You can either drop me an email, or drop me a comment or an email on davejaguar66@gmail.com, or you can let Alex from DJSE know, because he lives not too far away from it, and I think he's going to organise the seating and bits and pieces, which is very, very good of him. So yeah, if you'd like to join us, you know, the more the merrier, but we need to know early enough so we can get enough places for everybody to sit and have a meal. So with that, that's really all I wanted to say for this weekend. So stay safe, keep the faith, enjoy your hobby, and if you could join us, it would be brilliant. Thanks very much. Take care. Have a nice weekend what's left.